Hey guys! So I wanted to come on and make a video. I have some very specific things in mind to talk about. Um, I was gonna make some other videos, but there's been some interesting developments within the musical theater movie community, and I was like, I want to bring these things up. So there's two things actually. Um, the first thing I wanted to make a video about was the comments on this is from Wicked the movie that's coming out later this year. So the actress that's playing Elphaba, her name is Cynthia Erivo. I apologize for mispronouncing her name. But so she has come out and has criticized a fan poster for the movie. So when the movie is being advertised online, there's an image that comes up with the movie as like their poster, and the original musical Broadway version of Wicked it's a animated picture of Glinda and Elphaba, and Glinda is like whispering into Elphaba's ear like that. But in the animated poster, Elphaba has her hat down over her eyes, and you can just see her smile, but it's like a closed lip smile, and she's wearing red lipstick, right? So the live action movie, it's a live action poster, so it's an actual picture, an actual photograph of Glinda and Elphaba, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, like doing the same pose, but this time Elphaba is looking directly into the camera. You can see her whole face and everything. Now, the fan edit of this poster is they took the exact same photo, but covered her eyes, covered Elphaba's eyes with the hat, so it's just like her lips, just lips smiling. And the comments, what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? The criticism, thank you, that's the word. Who am I saying thank you to? I'm the only one here. The criticism from Cynthia Erivo has to do with the fact that she finds it very deeply hurtful, which I'm not here to pass judgment on her comments or her feelings or anything. If she feels hurt, she's hurt. That's literally what matters here. But I thought it was interesting because, I have an article pulled up here where her quote is, "Our poster is an homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me. And that is just deeply hurtful." There's another quote down here. "I am a real life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer, because without words, we communicate with our eyes." So that is the reason why she's criticizing this fan edit of the poster, because they're completely changing the way she was doing something in the photo. And a thing to note is that this article also says that the edited poster did not include changes to Glinda's outfit or hair. So nothing was changed about Glinda, just Elphaba. And something to keep in mind is that Ariana Grande is obviously white and Cynthia Erivo is black. So this is also something to keep in mind when you're talking about this conversation, because that is something important. It's an important aspect of this, especially with the implications and the themes that Wicked is actually about. So now, I think there's a lot of commenters that are kind of split on this. Just looking at my Instagram and comments alone, looking at what people are saying in response to her criticism, I think people are kind of split down the middle here. And I see both sides, because someone was just there's the argument that someone was just making a fan edit, to make the poster almost exactly like the one that was on Broadway. However, like Cynthia Erivo said, she literally said this is an homage, it's not an imitation. They weren't trying to do the exact same thing. So I see her argument in that this is hurtful. They were doing their own thing, because this is not Wicked, the Broadway musical. This is Wicked, the musical movie. So I see her point there. I see both sides. I understand why. I don't agree one way or the other. I'm just saying I see both sides and I see why there's a little bit of conflict here. I think that if there's anyone online kind of going after her for being so offended, I think you need to calm down, because she's allowed to feel offended by something. She's allowed to feel hurt by something, and she's allowed to speak out about it and be like, hey, I get what you were doing, but that's really hurtful to me. We were doing our own thing. This was for our own movie, and you completely took out my face from the poster. Meanwhile, Glinda's face was completely unedited. So I really see her point there. So I think that if there's anyone out there that's kind of being mean about it, or maybe, you know, kind of a little bit of like dismissive of her feelings, I think we need to chill out, because she's allowed to come out and say, hey, that was hurtful. So, you know, I don't know if anyone else has said anything about it. I don't know if any of the other co-stars in the movie have come out and said anything about it. This isn't like big news in like the movie itself, because I think there's been other news that's a little bit more bigger. However, this does matter because, you know, she felt hurt by it. I mean, honestly, I'd feel hurt by it. Like, there was a purpose to this poster. Like, it wasn't just like they were copying the original poster. It was completely different, you know, and it was her as the character, you know. So when you change it and you take her face away, you're completely taking away from her character. So I kind of really feel for her. I actually could see how that would be hurtful. So honestly, really good for her for speaking out, because I think that in any industry, you know, I know obviously the film industry and all of the other famous ones are super widely known, and that's the one we talk about the most. But I think in any industry, if someone does something that hurts you, I think it's good to speak out. And especially for women, because, you know, so many people are dismissed because they are not of the male or men, like, sex or gender. It's you know, certain people tend to be, like, dismissed and squashed down when speaking about their feelings, or, you know, however they felt about something. And I think that it's always a good choice to speak out how you felt about something, especially when it directly affected you. There's the words. When it directly affected you, I think it's incredibly important to speak up, say something about it, because things don't change. People don't realize that they hurt someone's feelings. And honestly, there's no way to know for sure, because I don't know who's the one that created the fan edit of the poster. There's no way to know for sure that they were doing it on purpose to be hurtful, to take away from it. You know, so there's no way to know what their intentions were. Maybe they were just genuinely trying to kind of have fun with it and make the poster like the Wicked Broadway musical poster. But I think it's always good to point out when your feelings are hurt, even if you don't know the person, because that's how we learn, right? That's how we learn, like, oh, that hurt someone's feelings. I shouldn't do that again. And also maybe apologize, because you don't get to decide if you hurt someone's feelings or not. If her feelings are hurt and that's what she's feeling, they're valid. It's just that. That's how I feel about the situation. I hope that gets resolved for her, because I am very excited to see the movie. I think it's going to be great, and I don't want this to put a damper on the experience for her. I'm very excited to see her Elphaba portrayal. I think is going to be fantastic. So anyway, that is all I have to say about the Wicked stuff I wanted to talk about. Now, there's other news that I wanted to talk about. Now, this isn't really, I guess it's a movie musical. I guess we're going to count it as one because people are calling it one, right? So Joker 2. I saw the first Joker. I saw the first one whenever it came out. I don't remember when it was. And that one obviously wasn't really a musical. There was music in it, but that doesn't make it a musical. It was like he was dancing to music and like that kind of thing, but it's not a musical. So I haven't seen the second one. I think it's out now, but I'm probably not going to watch it until it's out on streaming. And that's just personal choice. I love going to the movie theater to see movies. That's one of my favorite activities to do. But my feelings with the first Joker movie. I love Joaquin Phoenix. He's great. I think he always brings something interesting to whatever he does. And, you know, but my true feelings about the first movie were, I enjoy the DC universe itself. It is dark. Like, if you ever watch DC movies or Marvel movies or any kind of like that, you see the difference. Like, DC is a little bit darker than Marvel. That doesn't mean I like it less. It's just what I see. And so for Joker, when I saw the first movie, I was on the edge of my seat the whole movie, but not in a good way. I felt so anxious the whole movie that I was like almost kind of miserable when the movie was over because I was so exhausted. Like, the whole movie was so like and when I say dark, I don't just mean like, you know, the plot has some really deep and very crazy plot lines. I think it's also the lighting, you know, it's like very like gray, green lighting in the movie, and, you know, other kinds of things that just make the whole thing itself dark. And so I felt very like on edge and like anxious and like kind of exhausted after the first movie. And so I always was like, okay, if they make a second movie, I have to watch it where I can like pause it and then come back to it another day. I'm like, there's no way I can watch this movie all the way through, let alone another sequel. Like, again, just like sitting there and just watching it all the way through. I just can't. It was too much for me. However, I did think it was a good movie. I thought it was really well done. I think a lot of the criticism, especially from the first movie, I haven't seen the second one, so I can't speak to it. I don't know what it's about. I don't know how accurate it was to whatever people are talking about. But I think that what upset people the most for the first movie was that his Joker is so different from what we know the Joker as. And I think that also comes from not just the comic books, but, you know, there's animated shows and there's older movies and all of the other actors who have also played Joker, and it's, you know, it's not as whimsical, I guess, is the point. And there may be some criticism from that, I think, from the first movie, because it's not what we know as the Joker. It's very different. That being said, for me, and taking it from a standpoint as just watching it as a movie, just watching it to enjoy a story, I enjoyed it. I actually did. I enjoyed the first Joker movie. We're putting aside the fact that, yes, his Joker was different. It wasn't anything like the actual Joker character. You know, it was a different take on the character for sure. I will 100% agree with that. It was a different take on the character. It's almost a completely different character. I mean, there is a lot of the chaotic element in Joaquin's Joker, compared to what I think most people see the Joker as. But that's about it. So I think that's where a lot of the criticism came from. But I enjoyed the first movie. I did. Aside from the fact that I needed to watch it in pieces and not all at once, I thought it was still a good movie. And I thought Joaquin Phoenix actually did a really great job. I don't think it was his best performance. I think it was a really great performance. I think he's done other characters that I think have been better. But I do think that he did a really great job in that performance. So that being said, the news that has come out lately is, now I don't personally know who this is. It's just something I keep seeing everywhere because I guess he's a very famous film critic. Paul Schrader. I don't follow movie critics, so I have no idea how good he is, how bad he is, none of it. He is just in the news lately because of his take on Joker 2. So, I pulled up an article. This is bad. This is really bad. Paul Schrader stopped watching Joker 2 after 15 minutes because that was enough. Yikes, that's pretty bad. Again, I don't know who he is. I don't know how good of a critic he is. Here it says, the first reformed filmmaker, is known for his outspoken views about films. He made his name as the screenwriter of Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver, which some critics identified as a significant influence on the original Joker. Okay, so that's why he's kind of connected to this, because they're kind of connecting Taxi Driver to the original Joker. Okay, so that's interesting. Now, this is so funny to me. I mean, it's kind of mean, but it's kind of funny when you read it on the surface level. So, in conversation with playwright Jeremy O. Harris for Interview Magazine, Schrader described the sequel as a really bad musical. Asked to elaborate, Schrader was dismissive of stars Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. Quote, "I don't like either of those people," he said. "I don't like them as actors. I don't like them as characters. I don't like the whole thing." Wow. And it gets worse. The rest of the quote is, I mean, those are people who, if they came to your house, you'd slip out the back door. That is a wild thing to say in an interview. Like, that's something my voice just cracked. That's something you say, like, when you're talking to your friends or your close acquaintances about the movie or something when you don't like it. That is an insane thing to say in an interview, I think. This guy is 78, so I don't know if he's just, like, he's given up and so he's just saying whatever he feels now. But that's what he said. That's what he has said about the movie. I can't say I agree or disagree with it because I haven't seen the movie. I disagree with not liking those two as people because I like Joaquin Phoenix and I love Lady Gaga. I haven't really, watched her per se in a lot of movies. I haven't gotten around to watching, A Star is Born, or is it House of Gucci is what it's called? It's the movie she made with Adam Driver. I think it's the Gucci's. Maybe it's Versace? I don't know. It's one of the Italian, high-end fashion brands that they portrayed the family. I don't remember which one it was, but I've never got around to see it, even though I love Lady Gaga because I love her music. I've never seen those movies. However, I think that's such a wild thing to say to an interviewer. I mean, if those are people who, if they came to your house, you'd slip out the back door. Ouch. That is so, I hate to say crazy because I don't like using that word, but that is absolutely out there. I don't personally know anyone who would say that. Oh, by the way, if you look up what Paul Schrader looks like, he looks exactly what you're picturing. Old white guy. Let's put it that way. Now look, this is going viral because I think, and it says here in the article, which I'm going to link both of the articles I talked about in the description. But I think in this article, it even says that the film flopped. So, it did not do well. Its first weekend in the box office. Yikes. The budget was pretty high and it did not even cover how big the budget was. So far, the article says the audiences are sharing Schrader's view. Oh man, this article's from October 16th, so it's pretty recent. It was actually yesterday. And according to Rotten Tomatoes, it has a rating of 33% from critics and 32% from audience. Now, Again, I don't usually follow critics. Like, if I want to watch a movie or I enjoy a movie, sometimes I don't even agree with the critics. Like, I'll just watch what I want to watch. However, this is very unfortunate for Joker. Because I think the first movie did pretty okay. I think it did well. I actually don't know how well it did, but I think it did better than this. So I don't know why this movie flopped so bad. I'll end up watching it and I'll give my opinion on the movie after I watch it, you know, because again, I'm probably not going to go see it in theaters, so I'm going to wait till it comes out, so that won't be anytime soon. But I will make a video about that, just in case anyone's curious to watch. But I really wanted to bring up what that critic said about the movie, because I kind of can't believe we still have movie critics like this. Like, sure, there are bad movies in the sense that maybe the story wasn't written well and you don't understand what's going on, or maybe the acting is so bad you just don't believe what they're saying or doing. But personally, I've always found that when there's a lot of like bad things written about critics about stuff, I usually disagree. Like, there's a lot of movies that I actually really like that if you go on Rotten Tomatoes or wherever else they have critic ratings, it's like really low, but I love the movie. Like, it'll be like one of my favorite movies. So I tend not to agree with critics. I tend to be like, I don't understand the point of movie critics anymore, because unless you're talking about it from like a technical standpoint, like the story didn't make sense, like you couldn't follow the plot, the acting was bad, like you didn't believe them, the cinematography was so bad, like you're looking at a wall instead of looking at the actual actor. Like, unless it's like that bad, I don't understand the point of movie critics, really. I mean, I'm not entirely sure why they were a thing in the first place. That's just my thought. I'm kind of curious. I might make a video and like look up like were movie critics always around, and like who decides who's a good movie critic? At this point, it's literally just opinion. So it's like literally a job. It's like a food critic. It's like those are always such wild jobs to me, where it's like we take this person's word as like, this is it, this is the law, but it's an opinion. So I don't know. That's an interesting point. But either way, that's what's been trending lately about Joker 2. We'll see if the movie's that bad, in my opinion. I'll watch it when it comes out on streaming. It did flop at the box office though, so that is unfortunate for the people that worked on that movie. But that's really all I wanted to talk about with this video. It was just, I had some stuff on my mind and I was like, I just kind of wanted to bring it up and talk about it. And maybe if you guys feel the same way or you disagree or whatever, you can comment. I would love to read your comments if you ever, feel like commenting. I've never been a big commenter on YouTube videos, but I think it would be fun if you guys commented and let me know what you think about any of this. This is all opinion, basically, other than the facts that I read you from the article, which again, I will link below. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. If there's any things that are like out there, any trending topics like this kind of stuff, maybe you guys can let me know, because I don't hear about everything. Like, I'm not the internet, I don't hear about everything, so I'm always open to talk about things. Sorry, just hair flew in front of my face. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm getting a lot better about making videos and releasing them weekly. It hasn't been super consistent with the day yet, because I kind of have to figure out like, okay, like what day am I gonna film, like what time, but I am getting better consistently as like releasing videos weekly. So if you guys subscribe to my channel, you can see them as soon as they are posted, and you can like my video so I know that you guys watched it and liked it. But yeah, thank you for watching if you watched it all the way through. I think that it's fun to have discussions with people if you guys are interested in commenting, or maybe you just wanted to listen to me talk. I don't always love the sound of my own voice, but maybe you like the sound of my voice, or you just wanted something to play in the background or something. So you're welcome to whatever it is you use this video for. So I will see you guys next week, and thank you so much for watching.